Some creators get canceled for the smallest things. A decade-old tweet, a joke taken the wrong way, or just being on the wrong side of the internet for one day too long. And just like that, poof! Their careers are over, their reputation burned, their name erased from the algorithm. But then there are the others, the ones who lie, who exploit, who harass, who manipulate, profit, and repeat with no real consequences. They never properly apologize, they never really change, and somehow they just keep winning. Their fans defend them like a cult, their platforms keep pushing their content, and instead of canceling them, the internet makes them stronger. Today we're pulling back the curtain on the influencers who did the worst, and somehow came out bigger than ever. Not the ones who made a mistake and grew from it, but the ones who made controversy their brand. And trust me, the deeper we go, the darker it gets. Before he was known for emotional breakdowns, oxygen masks, and 10,000 calorie binges, Nikocado Avocado was just another small creator making vegan mukbangs and playing the violin. He started out soft-spoken, positive, and health-conscious, a far cry from the chaotic internet spectacle he is today. But something shifted. The views started rolling in when the food got bigger, the fights louder, and the breakdowns more theatrical. Nikocado turned himself into a full-blown character, one that cried, screamed, ate himself sick, and capitalized on every ounce of internet chaos. His videos started featuring arguments with his then-partner, disturbing eating habits, and emotional spirals that felt more like scripted reality TV than YouTube content. He was accused of exploiting mental health, promoting dangerous eating habits, and glamorizing self-destruction. His thumbnails, often manipulative, his titles, designed for maximum shock value. And yet, he was never canceled. Why? Because Nikocado mastered the art of being a spectacle. Half his viewers watch out of genuine curiosity. The other half? They're watching the train wreck, too shocked to look away. And since he does it all under the guise of a character, fans give him a pass. From a niche mukbang creator to a viral internet icon, Nikocado didn't just survive controversy, he profited from it. He became meme material, a viral soundbite machine, and a regular feature in the wildest corners of TikTok. From feuds with other creators to staging fake online drama, public meltdowns, and serious health concerns, Nikocado was at the center of it all. Eventually, he disappeared from the internet, and many thought that was the end of his story. But then, he shocked everyone, returning with a 250-pound weight loss and revealing it was all part of a secret social experiment. Some called it brilliant, others called it manipulative because during his time away from YouTube, he continued to upload pre-recorded mukbang videos, maintaining the illusion that he'd not changed physically. But one thing's for sure, Nikocado knows how to keep the internet watching. But if you thought emotionally manipulating your audience and glamorizing self-destruction was bad, nothing will prepare you for what happens when that behavior mixes with actual hate speech.
It's part of the red pill masculinity alpha male thing for a while, and then you realize it's kind of Jewish and gay.
Before the misogyny, the chaos, and the bans, Sneako was actually one of YouTube's most promising creators. He started off as a deep thinker.
Holy shit, everyone, it's me, I'm here. What do people think of you? This is what we live for. It isn't how can I make myself better, it's if I go hiking this weekend, how many Instagram likes could I get if I take a selfie next to a tree? Our image is everything, and if you pay attention, you'll see the lengths people go to maintain this.
Posting thought-provoking videos about society, self-improvement, and culture. He'd talk about success, passion, the grind, often in beautifully shot monologues that felt more like indie films than content. But then, everything changed. Somewhere along the way, Sneako traded nuance for noise. He started aligning with Andrew Tate, embracing toxic masculinity, conspiracy theories, and extreme takes on women and gender roles. He mocked assault victims, harassed other creators including women who challenged him, and built a brand off of being the guy who says what others are too afraid to say. His content became louder, angrier, and more dangerous. But here's the part that's hard to explain unless you see it. People love him for it. For a certain audience, particularly young, disillusioned men, Sneako became a hero, a truth teller, a voice they believe is defending masculinity in a world that, to them, seems to be tearing it down.
Fuck the woman! Fuck the woman!
What? No, wait. We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody.
Okay.
No.
All gays should die.
Yeah, merch, preach.
And when platforms tried to step in, YouTube banned him, demonetized him, he didn't disappear. He just moved, rebuilt, monetized his outrage somewhere else. Today, Sneako is still active, still building a loyal following, still raking in views, interviews, donations, and influence, all while doubling down on the very behavior that got him banned.
I think women got uglier in movies ever since Harvey Weinstein left.
Yo, that's almost Andrew Tate level bar. That's like you got to be the new Tate, bro.
But if weaponized masculinity keeps you up at night, wait until you meet the guy who turns live streams into playgrounds of reckless influence. There was a time when Adin was just another goofy gamer on Twitch, known for his lighthearted banter, collaborations with rappers, and borderline cringe humor. Adin built his audience streaming NBA 2K and chatting with his friends like it was just another group FaceTime.
You wish you could buy 700,000 VC, you hater! You wish!
But as his fame grew, so did the chaos. His stream started to shift from fun and spontaneous to reckless and borderline dangerous. Whether it was bringing on guests who spouted hate speech, joking about serious issues, or promoting gambling to an audience full of minors, Adin blurred the line between content and corruption.
Okay, I'll be real. Guys, listen. I'm Jewish. You guys know that. Hitler was a great leader. What he did was wrong. I obviously so fucked. It's for real. What he did was fucked up. He killed innocent people. But he was a good leader.
He was warned. He was suspended. He was called out repeatedly, but instead of slowing down, he doubled down. And every time he got criticized, he framed it as, they're just mad I'm having fun. His fan base, mostly young guys, ate it up. To them, Adin isn't just a streamer, he's the wild older brother they never had. The one who breaks the rules, makes money doing it, and doesn't care what anyone thinks. So even when he was banned from Twitch, even when mainstream platforms turned their backs, Adin found his next move. He pivoted to Kick, a platform with looser rules and bigger checks. And his numbers, they exploded. With fewer limitations and more freedom, Adin Ross didn't just survive controversy, he thrived off of it. But if Adin plays with fire, the next influencer basically pours gasoline on the whole platform and walks away richer. Before the chaos, the lawsuits, and the physical confrontations, Jack Doherty was just another teenage prankster on YouTube, bouncing around suburban homes, pulling off flips, and getting mild laughs from harmless antics. But those trampoline tricks turned into public disturbances. The harmless dares became violent altercations. And somewhere along the way, Jack figured out that the more reckless he became, the more views he pulled. His videos now revolve around intentionally provoking people in public, shouting at strangers, harassing employees, even sparking fights in malls or convenience stores.
McKinley, back up.
What the fuck's your problem?
And it didn't stop at pranks. In multiple instances, members of his entourage were caught on camera physically assaulting people. Sometimes it's bystanders, other times it's security guards or store workers just trying to do their jobs.
Wait, I couldn't hear that last part.
If you use me as content, it's not going to go the way you think it's going to go. So I advise you to walk away, all right? Don't use me as content.
But here's the twist. That chaos isn't the cost of the content. It is the content. And his fans, who are mostly kids and teens, they treat every security takedown or viral fight like it's a win, like Jack just beat the system again. When he gets kicked out of stores, it's legendary. When he almost gets arrested, it's iconic. His followers don't see consequences, they see clout. And because YouTube's algorithm still pushes what gets watched the most, Jack keeps rising no matter how dangerous or unhinged the content becomes. He's no longer just a prankster. He's become a professional agitator, weaponizing drama, exploitation, and violence for monetized views. And no matter how high the backlash climbs, he just goes louder. But even real-world violence doesn't top what comes next. Because the next creator, they've hurt people off camera in ways that are much harder to ignore, and somehow they've only grown more powerful. There was a time when Logan Paul was just another hyper YouTube vlogger. The loud guy with a camera, energy drinks, and a never-ending need for attention. His rise came fast, his videos were wild, his audience was young, and the YouTube algorithm loved him. But in 2017, Logan crossed a line no influencer ever should. He traveled to Japan's Aokigahara forest, widely known as the Suicide Forest, and filmed a deceased body, laughing and joking about it on camera, all for content. The backlash was immediate, global, and intense. Media outlets everywhere condemned him. Sponsors pulled out. YouTube cut off many benefits. For a moment, it looked like Logan's career was done. But instead of disappearing, Logan rebranded. He released a tearful apology, took a brief break, and then returned. Quieter, wiser, and supposedly changed. He started boxing, hosted a podcast, did charity work, interviewed thought leaders, and just like that, the redemption arc began. But here's where it gets dark again. Because years later, Logan found himself in another scandal. This time, not with a camera, but with money. He promoted and then launched Crypto Zoo, a blockchain game that turned out to be a complete scam. Thousands of fans, including kids, invested in what was promised to be fun and rewarding. Instead, it collapsed. No refunds, no real apologies. And Logan, he dodged the accountability. He downplayed it, shifted blame, and when pressed, he offered refunds only under tight conditions, with zero ownership of what he caused. It was a clear sign. The new Logan wasn't that different from the old one, just better at damage control. And yet, despite everything, Logan Paul is bigger than ever. He's a WWE superstar. His prime drink is everywhere. His podcast gets millions of views. The Japan incident is now a meme. Crypto Zoo is fading from headlines, and his fans, they still treat him like a comeback king. Because for a lot of people, the idea of redemption is more powerful than the truth behind it. It's easier to believe someone changed than admit they fooled you again. Logan didn't just avoid cancellation, he flipped it into a rebrand. One that's made him wealthier, more famous, and more influential than ever before. But if Logan's global downfall led to a global redemption arc, our final case is someone who never had to redeem himself, because he built his entire empire on being everything wrong with masculinity, and somehow millions still worship him for it. You've seen chaos, cruelty, and scams, but you haven't seen Andrew Tate. If controversy was a business model, Andrew Tate would be its CEO. Former kickboxer turned internet guru, Tate didn't just rise to fame, he engineered it. His formula was simple: say the most outrageous thing imaginable and say it with confidence. Talk about male dominance, belittle women, flex wealth, and repeat it until millions of teenage boys start calling you a role model. But behind the memes and viral clips, the reality is a lot darker. Tate has been accused of human trafficking, coercion, and creating an abusive digital cult where young men pay to learn how to escape the matrix. A phrase that really means adopt his worldview of control, power, and submission. These aren't internet slip-ups. These are real-world crimes with real-world consequences. And yet, his influence has only grown. When platforms banned him, it didn't silence him. It amplified him. Tate became a digital martyr, proof to his fans that the world was scared of the truth. They didn't see punishment. They saw validation. His entire empire is built on weaponized engagement. So even if he's banned, his voice never disappears. It just multiplies. What's terrifying is how deeply his ideology has seeped into the next generation. Middle school boys are quoting him. Classrooms are seeing his rhetoric play out in real time. This isn't just a bad influencer. This is systemic indoctrination.
Controversial influencer Andrew Tate has arrived in the US yesterday alongside his brother Tristan after being allowed to leave Romania. Now remember, they both face charges of human trafficking, with Andrew also accused of rape. They, of course, deny the charges.
Now, they have gained millions of fans online, promoting an ultra-masculine lifestyle that critics say demeans women. Many have raised concerns about the impact of Andrew Tate's views and how they have that impact on boys and young men, with teachers even reporting that his violent rhetoric has made its way into classrooms. Right. So, why do so many boys and young men relate to Andrew Tate?
And through all of this, the arrests, the investigations, the bans, Tate still frames himself as the hero. He claims he's being persecuted for being too real, that he's a spiritual man now, that the system fears him, but none of it comes with accountability. Just repackaged ego dressed in defiance. And that's the most disturbing part. We live in a digital age where influence is measured by views, not values, where being right doesn't matter, only being loud, and where some creators, despite doing irreversible harm, face no real consequences. They walk away richer, more followed, and more powerful than ever, while other creators who made one mistake or were misjudged were erased forever. Maybe cancel culture isn't broken. Maybe it was never real to begin with.